Welcome to the
Epic Show.
Warning. You're about to embark on an adventure of epic proportions. Buckle up, bucko. You're now tuned in to the Epic Show. With your hosts, Gabe and Dave. Coming to you live from the Epic Center.
Ew. Dude,
well,
you're getting pretty good at that. Like,
a little
the
too
cadence of that was like, oh, I kind of felt it.
You could feel the bass.
Yeah.
If someone's listening to this in their car, their like windshield, like or their window, just like shake. So if you're caught up and you watched the last episode, you'll know that Gabe was sick, and I risked that and chose to do the episode anyway.
He walked through the valley of sickness with a blind eye.
I was kind of cocky about it. I was like, all right. I had COVID like a month ago. I was like sick in between that as well. Like,
At this point, like, I couldn't really get sick again.
yeah, I was like, my immune system's better now, right? And then
Nope.
I had the worst sickness in the last decade, really.
It's kind of a thing. Like, if you're my best friend, every year you kind of have to pay a tax because I'm such a
Yeah.
good friend.
It's like your subscription
that
fee.
It's a subscription fee. You get put to almost your deathbed
That's the
with
price you
an
pay.
illness once a year, and it's always around the same time too.
I'm just like, wait. I'm like reconsidering, like, wait, I have to get like deadly illness like 3 times a year just so this guy can like FaceTime me at 4 a.m. like
And not talk to me.
and just be on his phone while he talks to me. I should reconsider my subscription.
It's like New Year's comes around and like you dread it. Like it's always in the back of your mind. You're like, my subscription's coming up. Like,
yeah, it's like it's gonna take a heavy toll out of my biological wallet. But if you also paid attention to the last episode, you'll know that I had a flight, and this plays into the scenario of the week because this was one of the worst flight experiences I've had. And
you did have a flight.
and like I've flown Spirit a few times, and I've had like the problem with Spirit for me is like people are just loud on Spirit, and it's just like
They tend to be more disrespectful.
yeah, it's like it's like a band is playing and there's like a kid screaming, kicking. There's kids everywhere. There's way more kids.
It's the equivalent to Austin public transport, but you're in the air.
Yeah, just the air version of it. But this was Delta, and
Oh,
it was just like a lot of small things that added up. So I thought that I had the window seat. So I was sitting in the window seat, and the lady comes up and she's like, "I'm F," and I'm just like, "Are you sure?" I'm just like, "Is this not?" And they're like, "No," and I had to get up and sit in the middle.
wait. How did you think that you were in the window seat? Like,
Well, I always get the window seat, and I guess I just forgot that they ran out, like, and I had to buy a middle seat, and so yeah, I was in the middle, and I'm sitting next to the worst man spreader that I've ever seen.
worse
like-
than me?
Oh yeah, like he did not care at all about his spreading. Like I'm having to like sit like balls like in between my legs, like
You're just tucked.
yeah, and then the lady next to me was she was like opening up the window like a lot, and this was like we'll get into that too a little bit, but it was like the sun was right on that side, like peak in the air because this was like
Yeah, I mean,
midday.
you're much closer to the sun at this point.
I think we were at the same like altitude of the sun, and the sun was just like right there, and it's
Yeah.
just like I felt like the sun was just right. It was right on my legs, like the beam.
Was this a short?
Like if I
was
couldn't
this
even
a
go.
short situation.
Yeah, I couldn't even go. I'm surprised I don't have like a tan line on here because like I couldn't even go on my phone
In the
because
sliver shape of the window.
yeah, and with like all the little like dirt specks
Yeah,
too.
like the flies.
And like I couldn't even use my phone because it was so like it would just glare.
Oh my god.
Like, I had to like put my phone above my head and stuff just to see it. And she would do that often, and I was sweating as well because it's so hot. And I don't know if you
I
had.
hate airplane sweats.
Oh man, it's so
Oh,
uncomfortable.
it's terrible.
And I don't know if you had anything to do with this, but my bowels were erupting,
Mm-hmm.
so I had to take a dump so bad, and like,
Yeah, I think I had something to do
and
with that.
yeah, I don't know if that was the sickness, if that's like part of it.
That's
That's pre-sickness.
Yeah, that's the first sign.
The first wave. Okay. But yeah, that was, and my AirPods died as well. Which is like, that's the whole point. I like having the AirPod Pros, and they cancel out like all the noise in the plane. You get to just sit there and
Makes your ears feel like they're in first class while your body
right.
feels
Yeah, my
like
ears are in
coach.
first class. But yeah, it was just a culmination of all those things. Like I have to take a huge dump, like diarrhea dump, mind you, like sun shining on my legs, can't use my phone, AirPods dead, man spreading. Like I'm just like, dude,
You're going through the ringer.
please. And this brings up the snare of the week, which I'd also like to, if anyone who works at Shark Tank is listening, this is also a business proposition.
Anyone who works at Shark Tank, I think you just
I think
you
I
call
just
them
want
the
my
sharks. You call them
Yeah.
the sharks.
Well, maybe there's like an intern who has some pull.
Yeah,
Maybe, I
he
don't know.
might. Yeah, he might have been listening to their investment like ideas behind the doors while he's like moving the set, and he's just slowly becoming a millionaire, like listening to them.
And so like, all right, get this right. So getting up, this is my pitch.
Okay.
Getting up in an airplane to use the bathroom is always awkward and uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
We solved that by installing toilets in all of our seats.
Ugh.
Come on down to, I don't know what it's called, but
I don't think that's a store.
so that's like, it's an airline, I guess. So we're pitching an airline.
You're pitching to the airline that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because that was part of, I didn't really talk about it, but that was part of it because I didn't want to get up to use the bathroom because this guy, well, he was like, I think he was sleeping or working or something, like eating the food. And I didn't want to, it's so awkward to like ask somebody you don't know to get up. And
especially if they're already that comfortable mansplaining.
Right.
Manspreading.
I'm just like, hey man, can you like stop your spread for a second?
Okay, so it sounds good. Like
Yeah, so you
if everyone was just like simultaneously like taking a dump, like, and they were like
in the air.
in like the commercials, like two guys and they're like just pooping right next to
Yeah,
each other,
like-
and they're like having a business conversation,
Yeah,
like,
it's like, yeah,
smiling with each other, and like they're just like
I'm from Louisiana and I'm flying to see this person. And
right. Well, the issue with the small issue with this,
Well, you get free nose plug. That's what you're.
you get a
saying,
free
right?
nose plug.
Yeah, free nose
Okay.
plug.
Well,
And there's
how
like,
are you going to cover people's eyes whenever they have to get up and wipe?
Well, it's like a bidet as well.
Oh, it's a bidet. Okay.
It's built in.
Well, that would
bidet.
work.
Yeah,
That
so
would work in another country. Like, dude, America is
feel like it's a
America
foreign
is
thing.
too afraid of like they think bidet stuff is gay. So, like, you're gonna get a cowboy in there, and he's be like, "There ain't no water going up my ass.
Yeah, I ain't gay.
I ain't gay. I
Don't
ain't-
let
I ain't
anything liquid up my
European."
ass.
Yeah, and that would cause an issue. And then the other part would be that people would have to be semi-naked in public, like right next to each other.
Yeah, so I guess it
feel
have
like
to be
that-
European.
Well, I feel like this would have to be like a women sit on this side of the plane
Oh, it's
and men
gender.
sit on this side of the plane,
Well,
because
that becomes an issue because
a
what if
man,
they're
like
not,
a
they don't
man
identify as that.
who's a sexual, well, yeah, and then trans people, yeah, that would be hard as well.
Yeah,
But a man who's like a sex offender who's not registered yet, you know,
yeah.
like he's an unregistered sex offender. Like if he was sitting next to like a woman, yeah, like what's stopping him from just reaching over and like just
Yeah, it's a very
violating people. Like it's this like
well. I guess that would be our target market is pervs. So we just market it to perverted
for
people.
this plan to work. This would have to be perfect society.
Yeah, I
like-
guess this is like pre-Adam and Eve.
Yes, this is way before Adam and Eve. Like this is.
I get that's what it would be though. Is
we
you
would
just
try and set
naked,
the
fly
world
naked.
back to pre-sin.
I just feel like this is a
But the convenience measures are insane. Like
yeah.
I see what
just
you're saying.
being
Like
able
with the
to just
convenience.
take a dump and
Yeah.
relieve your diarrhea in the air
What if
while
like
you watch a rerun of some show you don't like.
yeah, you're watching Friends.
Yeah.
What if there's a clog though? Like
Oh wait,
the flight attendant has to come and like unclog it, and you're just standing there with like your dick in your hands. And,
wait. What if like on this plane they had like the baseball team like flying to a tournament
mm,
and they stopped at the hot dog shop
oh,
before
God.
the so
The
they had
plane
so,
would reek.
well that too, but they had such like an abundance of shit that it like tops the plane over because they're in the front section, so the guy's like pulling up on the thing like trying to counter the weight, and it's like beep 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 beep. And he's like because it's so much weight. It's on the news. It's like new toilet airline comes to an end
Yeah.
due to a Frank fiasco. And it's like a hot dog in the
Yeah, it's like the plane crashed because it couldn't flush like
yeah, got clogged and
1.2 thousand pounds of shit at once.
so
Like
gross.
that's bad, dude. It would just the whole plane would smell like downtown Hackworth.
Oh yeah, with the
Like-
sewage pipes under there. But
That's bad.
I got something I know that you're gonna have an issue with.
Okay.
So, are you the type of person to open or close the window when you have the window seat on an airplane?
I'm a closer. I do not care what's going on out there. Like
well,
to me, there is nothing that deserves my attention out there.
what do you mean? Like, when
Are you an opener? Is that what you're saying?
Well, like, it depends. Like, if the sun's out and it's like ruining everybody, like I'll close it. But like,
Okay.
when are you gonna have the opportunity to look out upon the world from 10,000 feet in the air and just
Google-
gaze upon the world, like listening to music, listening to Frank Ocean
Mm.
flying through the air, like
Uh,
gazing upon the city and the, like, when can you say that you can do that?
Okay. I think that having your window open is a landing thing at night. If you want to see a
If it's
city,
at night, like I'm just gonna. Well, if it's at night, then it's not
if
really
it's
an
at night,
issue
I'm
'cause it's
keeping
like-
it open.
Yeah, but you also
But-
can't see anything.
We also, I mean, yeah, you also can't see anything. There's nothing to look at. But like, look, so what's the benefit to opening the window? Like,
Well, it's
say you fly past like a flock of really big birds, and like
yeah,
the engine, like you watch the engine like clog up,
yeah,
and like you're the first person to know that you guys are all gonna die.
yeah,
What,
and I get it on film and go viral.
Yeah. You post a B reel, you're like literally about to die. Like-
It's me, like looking in the back, like,
No, I'm so against opening the window. We had this girl
yeah,
on the flight to Austin, or maybe
It
it
did
was
kinda
the way
ruin the
back
flight.
home, maybe. But
well, yeah. If I
dude,
know I'm ruining, I mean, at some point I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be a little selfish. Like I want to gaze upon the star, like
Mhm.
the sky.
it's something.
It's so nice.
It's something that kids do, though. Like
Yeah,
I feel
but-
like those were made for kids to like look out of.
yeah, but it's a very nostalgic experience for me because like airports and flying in airplanes is very nostalgic for me because I did that once a year, every year as a kid.
Mhm.
So that's like my escape to like be a kid again and look out the window and listen to music,
Yeah.
listen to the epic show while I gaze upon the clouds. I mean, if it kind of depends because if it's just clouds or you can't even see anything, then I'll be all right. I'm just spare everybody. But if I get to see like nice city or a landscape, or I can see places I never even would see. Like
Okay.
I'm flying over
You're
Mount
looking-
Rushmore, and I'm like,
dude.
no way, I get to see Mount Rushmore from 10,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, dude, you're looking at flyover states. That's what you're looking at. Dude, there's no in my opinion, there's just no point. Like you could do all this stuff on like Google Earth.
Dude.
Like you don't have to.
At that point, then it's like, why do I leave my house? I can just be on Google Earth.
And that's another fair statement. That's another fair statement. I mean, dude, you're looking at it too big picture. I think that there's too many cons because it ruins the flight of others around you. Like,
Yeah, I mean, generally, I'm an empath.
You're an
I'm
empath,
considered an
yeah.
empath. But in
In
this
some
scenario, I'm
communities.
like, all right, they need to be the empath to me. So I paid for this window seat, and I got there first, so I'll open
Okay.
it.
Well, like, how annoying would you find it if you had the window seat? Something that I would do is I would buy the window seat to keep the window closed,
Right.
and then
You have the
a
control.
guy
of it.
a guy in the middle aisle, like
Oh, it's like where it's like in the middle of the seat, so it's like kind of you can in your section.
no,
but-
like two seats over, the guy in the aisle seat. He's like, "Hey man, like, could you open that window?" Like, what would you say?
I
No,
would just be like, oh,
No.
I don't know, man.
no.
Well, that's what if you have the window seat, you have control. That's the whole point.
It's a power thing.
It's a power, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not for me. Well, why would I? I'm afraid of heights. First off, like
Yeah,
I
but
don't need to constantly be reminded that I'm at a height that if I fell from, I would die. Like that's how. I
But
look
it
at
does. It when you look out, it looks like everything's small, and it just looks like you could like step out and just be giant.
Whoa!
That's what it looks like.
I've
though.
never thought about that.
No, when you like look,
That's
if
true,
That's why I like looking out. I'm like, I start getting so in my imagination. I'm like, it just like the cars look like they're like ant size and stuff.
Okay.
Even though they're actually just really far. Like it's hard. Your brain can't really process.
Right.
Like,
But
different-
here's something for you. If looking out the window was that much fun, why is there a screen in front of you at the window seat? Like, why do you have a little movie player in front of you?
Because
Because it's not that fun. That's why. If it was all entertainment and imagination, yeah, I mean there
Well,
wouldn't.
not everyone
then
is
they'd be able to
imaginative.
save money on the like.
Well, not
on the
everyone gets
screen.
the window seat, and not everyone.
Exactly. So if you get the window seat, you don't get the movie.
That's
The other seats get the movies. You get the
Yeah.
window.
and I did. People
Would
just
you
end up
would you be
looking-
getting the window seat at that point?
Oh yeah, because I have a Switch. If I really don't like the window, I'm gonna just play Zelda.
I guarantee you that most people that are on your Spirit flight don't have Switches. So.
That's true. So I guess I feel like
Privileged Perry over here. You
White
just have an
privilege.
answer for everything, don't you?
It's actually white privilege, Willie. So.
White privilege William Perry is my name.
That's my name, by the way. So yeah, I feel like I won that argument. And so basically, we're gonna get to some more.
Yeah, what we want to do on the Epic Show is we have like really good imaginations, both of us.
Well, clearly I do because I'm the one who looks out the window.
Well, that's why you're the vice president of imaginations, and I am the president of imagination.
Well, we didn't really sign off on the titles but anyway.
I gave it to you, but we want to have more debates. So like, and the clips on TikTok for Would You Rather's it would
Right.
just be so much fun. So
Yeah, those are always like staple.
I want you to hit me with a Would You Rather.
All right, I got a curveball for you. So, would you rather be forced to say "milady" every time you address a woman, or every time someone says "God bless you," you have to say "I'm an atheist"?
Oh my god, that is so bad. Both of those are a complete turn off of a person.
Yeah, like
Like-
no one's gonna like you.
No, Like those are both like terrible. I would choose. Since I meet way more women than I do sneeze. I would choose that I'm an atheist. But I hope that I don't have to.
Woman Wally over here.
I hope that I don't have to sneeze like around anyone.
Oh yeah,
like
important. You're Sickman Jones.
Like, oh man, dude, that's bad because
like imagine
it's reputation ending for both of those are reputation ending.
Imagine you're in a job interview, and then someone in the hallway sneezes, and he's like, "Oh, God bless you." And he's like, "I'm an atheist.
I'm an atheist, by the way." No, yeah.
He's like, "Oh,
yeah," but imagine you go to the job interview and the woman interviewing you is a woman, and you have to say, "My lady."
Yeah,
you're not getting the job.
Well,
the chances
anyway.
The chances of the interview being a woman is 50-50. The chances of you sneezing in the interview is much lower.
I guess yeah. You just gotta like, if you know like people are sneezing around, you just like run away before you have to say it.
But you're like running and you're like, I'm an atheist. Like
I'm an atheist.
You have to like make eye contact with the person that said bless you. Like that's a part of the rule.
Well, I would choose milady because that's something I do anyway.
You do that anyway.
I have the fedora and I'm just like, milady.
And you have great
them.
theatrics with it as well.
Yeah, and it's like,
well, the thing is with that is it that every time you see a girl?
Every time you address a woman.
Oh, every time you address a girl, like every time, like in a conversation, like if you guys went to your phones, you'd have to be like, "Milady,"
right?
Oh, I thought that it was going to be like whenever you start off the conversation, because
anything with a woman, you have to address.
But just the first time you ever meet them, just say "Milady." But like that's a work pastable thing. Yeah. You know,
right? He's like, okay, that's kind of weird,
but he's normal besides the milady part.
He's a 10, but he says milady.
He's a 10, but he says milady, and he curtsies.
but I'm for me, like I'm looking
for
team
milady.
I'm looking for a Renaissance woman anyway. So like I feel like I'm just gonna play my cards right.
This is all pros to you. This is all good. Like, if you don't find a woman who's perfect, who would encourage you calling her milady after every break in a sentence, then she's not the one for you anyway.
For me, it just benefits me further.
A Renaissance woman. What the fuck?
You got some, so yeah, I need you to.
I do. Okay, so okay. I'm gonna start off with a deep one.
Okay.
Would you rather become someone else forever?
Okay.
Or stay you forever?
Look at me. Why would I want to be anything else?
Right.
But
and that's what leads me to mine. And I would choose to become David.
No.
Out of pure spite.
I don't even get to choose because I'm like, oh, I want to be
well,
I don't even know.
Yeah, so
James.
You would try to become LeBron James after you became me, but then that's when a spirit form of me would show up and be like, "You've already become someone else."
Yeah, I'm like stuck in the nether, like between spirits.
You're
like,
just
wait, what?
You're just me.
As I go into your body,
the person. If you get chosen to become a person, you can no longer choose to become someone else.
Well, at that point, am I going to like live your life as you, or am I just going to go back home as you and just live my life normally, just like explaining that I'm not Gabe?
Man, I think we would have to work that out personally.
Yeah, like we just have to make like an Instagram post and be like, just for clarification, me and Gabe switch bodies. This is David talking as Gabe right now. I am David in Gabe's body. He is. People were just like,
but
what?
The thing is you wouldn't last a second in this body, man.
You don't know what it's like. I don't think
you know what it's like to be in this skin prison.
Dude, you don't know what it's like to be an asthmatic, balding nut allergen.
Oh, wait, I couldn't eat peanut butter.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You didn't think about that one, man.
I didn't think about that. Well, I think for comedy purposes, you would have to go home and tell your mother that it's you in me. that you're living in me now.
I'm David, by the way. And I would just casually go up to my room.
Her questions would be.
She would just think that it's you and you're crazy or something.
Yeah, and I was just crazy. And she would like come up to your room and be like, "Where is David?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Mom, it's me.
It's me. Look."
You're like naked. It's like, it's me.
Oh.
Is that how you envision me? Oh. I'm just like sitting there like Jabba the Hutt on the bed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
What are some of the struggles like I have to face as you?
As me?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, dude.
Limited clothing options.
Limited clothing options at stores.
Being just so way too attractive to everybody. You can't leave your house.
Having copious amounts of swag with no outlet.
With no
it's
way
like,
to express it.
Yeah, and also it'd be rough for you, dude.
It'd be some
you would have to
adaptation.
you'd come home to nobody, and
Oh,
like
yeah. Well, at least I have some cats. And I'm no longer allergic to them.
you're no longer allergic to them. Thank
Yeah,
God.
you're also allergic to cats now. So
Yeah, but if you wanted to like catch them and play with them, you would have to adapt to moving in my body.
yeah, I'm like, I can't do anything because I have to relearn.
You
Like,
have
how
to
move.
relearn, but it's much heheavier now. Like everything is just way harder for you.
You
And-
like using my
But
body.
I'm like super powerful.
Yeah, because you're just like in your brain like how to move the body.
I'm
better.
like all I got to do is stay away from peanuts, and then I'm like living.
It's a much harder task than you think.
Well, what I think I would run into, the biggest problem that I would run into is whenever we would have to inevitably switch phones.
Oh yeah.
And whenever people start hitting me up for editing.
And you have no idea what you're doing.
And I'm just lost.
You're like, is this good? And it's just like a terribly cropped
It's bad.
video.
Anything that includes your expertise of thinking. Yeah.
What? I'm mostly just worried about my reputation as the drippy guy being tarnished. So I feel like there's a lot of tarnishment for me in my body.
I would tarnish you for strangers who knew of you, for sure.
Yeah.
Your legacy would be gone. Because I'd just be doing abhorrent things. And I'd be like, don't blame me. It's not... Gabe Hilliard, my soul
I'm
isn't
Gabe, but it's not
experiencing this.
actually me.
I like the second that we switch bodies, I like start like destroying your body. And I like start smoking cigarettes.
At that point, it's your body.
Yeah,
There's no sign of us.
it is.
switching back.
It is my body, but you have to watch what I put it through.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I'm in your temple now.
We both just destroy our bodies out of spite of each other.
No, like you like hit the gym with mine and become like just super alpha
And then we
male,
switch
like
back and-
large. And I'm like, no, wait.
Dude, you
I'm
ruined
like,
it.
no. I'm like, dude, you can't do that.
You know how many years I spent constricting that to be the biggest man?
I'm the biggest and burliest guy. I'm not the strongest and fastest guy.
And then we switch back, and I have terminal lung cancer, and you're
I've just
ripped
been
now.
connected to like an iron cigarette.
I'm just like, you're just like, oh, that was fun. See, man. And I'm just like, I'm gonna hit you.
I'm like, oh, by the way, you're behind on your taxes 5 years.
Later.
See ya.
Well, I got one for you. So,
Okay.
would you rather be able to play? All right, start. Would you rather be able to play one instrument of your choosing very well, or be able to speak one new foreign language fluently?
Ooh. Okay. That's actually really good.
Some possibilities from this.
You said one fluent language?
Yeah, of your choosing.
Like whenever?
You just
So I
instantly
can
be
speak
able
all.
to. No, just like one language. You can pick a language and you'll know it fluently. So if you
The only good thing that would come from that is I could talk to women in other languages. But what if I find out that I don't really like the
Yeah, you
women
don't
that
relate to the culture at all.
I just chose like Brazilian.
Yeah, you do it
language.
just for women, and then you realize like
I'm like,
not
dude,
it.
Brazilian girls are not it. Like,
and now you just know how to
like
speak fluent.
in Brazilian, like
Yeah,
but no, I would definitely choose the instrument, dude.
Yeah.
Like that would unlock way more for you than I
Right.
mean, like what? Am I gonna become a fucking
Translator.
Sri Lankan teacher?
Right.
Like, who cares? Like
In terms
about
of
that.
monetary value, it's
Yeah.
very low.
No, I would play something cool like the harmonica or the electric triangle,
Yeah,
and
you'd be like floating in the air, like playing ding 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 ding, ding. And everyone in town like comes to see you. every time.
yes, exactly.
'Cause you're
Somehow,
so
because
good.
you're so good at the triangle, you also can levitate.
But you could be like the triangle guy on TikTok, and
That's so
you
true.
like do covers and stuff, and you're known as you have like 40 million followers. 'cause You're
I'm
so
like,
good.
here's Lil Nas X's Old Town Road, but in
The
triangle.
Ding ding ding.
No, yeah, I would choose that, and then
The
dude,
didgeridoo.
I would just. That's a good one. So, yeah, like the didgeridoo. People, I would text people to like link up and stuff, and
New like you just post and you're like hitting up this spot soon. Be there at B Square.
yeah,
And then it's you in a circle,
a
like
bunch of people are like, "Where's Gabe?" And then like,
sitting on crisscross applesauce, just like
there's a mountain, like,
yeah, there's a mountain in our
2
town.
miles north,
Yeah,
and then as soon as I hear like, "Where's Gabe?" like I'm at the top of the mountain, like,
and everyone just starts crying 'cause it's so good.
it's so beautiful.
People are filming it. It goes viral.
It's touching people in ways they've
You're on,
never been
like,
touched.
You're on Ellen now. And like, it's like we know you for your didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo. Your didgeridooing.
But you got to think about if so I would pick Japanese, obviously. As if I were to pick a language.
Just so you could turn off
Just so I can watch anime.
subtitles in anime.
Just so I don't have to read when I watch anime. It's such a weeb thing.
And you know that's someone's unironic answer.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if
so that they could truly be an otaku.
well, if you take aside the instrument question and it's just like what language would you pick to speak fluently, I would just pick Japanese, and just solely for that reason. Because like, I don't know, I barely talk to people in my own language. Like, do you really think I'm going to be meeting people across the country? Like,
No.
I have a very small circle. Like, I
That's
might as well
true.
benefit just to be able to watch anime.
Right. That's so true.
So you had one
That's
about
good.
being dumb or whatever. It was.
Oh, yeah. I had one, and it was would you rather be the dumbest person to ever live, but also the richest? Or would you rather be the smartest person, but also the poorest?
Oh man,
Like, and when I'm talking the poorest, like
dirt poor.
you can make these companies like billion dollar ideas. Like you're the mastermind of Tesla, and like every time Elon Musk comes up to you, like to give you money for the ideas,
It
and
just
stuff,
vanishes in
like
midair.
as soon as you touch it, it's just
Yeah, it just like disintegrates.
like you just can't earn
Yeah, like,
money,
you're not allowed to.
but you're smart.
You're so smart. You could like, well, is it like change the world smart? Like I can like come up with the cure to cancer and stuff, but you don't make the money for
Yep.
it.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
exactly. Like you could solve every one of the world's problems
That's
just
a
on
word- that's a
just on a
sacrifice.
Wednesday.
because I was gonna say dumb because like I'm kind of sometimes I'm jealous of dumb people because ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
And like I'm also rich now, so it's like I'm so dumb that I don't have the capability to like mourn like the sad cruelty of the world.
That's true.
I'm just so dumb, and I don't have to be on that plane of
No.
knowledge. So
You can just spend money
I can just be rich
and
and
fulfill
an
your
idiot.
human needs.
But that's like, I guess now it's just if I want to save the world question and suffer for it and just be the biggest
Yeah,
human
that's what it comes
sacrifice.
down to.
It's just to like live in poverty just for the sake of.
I would, for one, I would choose the dumb and rich.
Okay, yeah.
But
I'll take.
I
the
also did say the
sacrifice,
dumbest person ever. So like, this is.
I mean, at this point,
This
it's
is like you can't even wipe your own ass.
I guess you can't even really function or drive or do anything.
No, but you got all this bread.
Yeah.
Either way, it would be a horrible existence.
I'll just pick the smartest and I'll just cure everyone's. You'd be so resentful of like, you're just like, oh, I did all this stuff for everybody.
You're standing
and
there
I'm
naked.
sitting here in the
naked, literally naked.
side of the highway. It's so brutal.
All the world leaders come to you for answers and stuff. And you're just,
yeah, and I'm just like, And
at that point, like, you'd be so depressed because you're
right,
so
exactly.
smart. Like,
that's what comes with being smart too.
This instant depression.
And yeah, like the people come to like solve like how to enter black holes or something, and I just like without even looking like write the equation on the chalkboard. Here you go.
On the road,
get out of here.
You read it on the road, and then it like the rain comes and
they're
washes
like,
it
"Thank
away
you,
after
sir." And I was like, "Don't mention it."
And like whoever you just gave that to in like a month, like drives by and like a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
And it's like, here you go, man. Throws you money at you.
And it just disintegrates, and you're just like, "Oh, that'd be awful."
You're terrible.
Wait, did you have one more? Or is that it?
Mm-hmm. Would you rather find true love today
Okay.
or win the lottery next year?
Whew.
Now, this lottery, it is a lottery, but
so we don't know the price?
I'm insinuating that it's enough money that you're straight forever. So like 250 million.
Well, is this like, am I never going to find true love, or am I just like locked in for true love? And
No, like you find like, if you generated this girl in a computer, like to be your perfect match.
okay.
It's true love. Like,
I don't know. It's pretty rough out there. I feel like I may never find that.
No,
So
and
you
you
really-
definitely wouldn't with all that money.
Well, if I don't know, if it's set for, is this like generational wealth?
Oh yeah, like this
Really?
is billions.
So it's kind of just comes down to like, are you picking love or money?
Yeah,
To an extent.
right.
I don't know. I feel like love is more rare than that. Like I might have to choose that.
I mean, well, you think that, but you see how many people are married, and then you see how many billionaires there are.
Well, if it's true love, then it's like,
Do you really think that all these people have true love, or
Well,
do you
no,
think that these people are just settling because we're humans?
well, in this scenario, it's true love, and it's
In this scenario, it's
My
true
perfect
love. So
match.
this is, like this would be the best love to
So-
ever be.
yeah. So really, I have nothing. I have something that no one else has.
That's true.
Versus,
Oh,
Money,
wow,
I
that's
just-
a deep one.
I have money by myself in my mansion with no one to.
Well, no,
share
it's not that you. I mean, you'd have.
Well, I could find love.
You'd
I
have
guess, yeah.
hoes for sure. like bad ones
But
too.
what's-
Like,
One good girl, it's worth 1,000 bitches. Kanye.
oh, that's a Kanye reference.
Yeah.
That went over my head.
Bound.
He has that. He has that reference. He has that lyric, and he married Kim Kardashian.
Right.
Like-
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be quoting them.
Just seems like he's not really practicing what he's preaching
Right.
at that point.
That's a great song, though. Well, that's gonna do it for Would You Rather. If you have any obscene
Yeah,
scenarios,
tell us what you
please
would
let us
rather
know.
us say.
Just tell us in the comments. What would you rather? Would you rather? So speaking of true love,
Oh no.
so you've had,
I've had quite a few run-ins
Well,
with love.
before we get into that, you were at Antico's, a pizza place, and you said something random
Oh
happened
yeah,
to
this week I was by myself. And I
by yourself
for
at
s-
pizza.
Yeah, in a city that I don't live in.
What?
It's at the Battery.
Oh,
And I was like, I just really need this pizza for some reason. And I just went by myself to Antico's. It's like a super Italian like place. Like it's like really, really good pizza.
okay.
But I go up there, I order the pizza, and I also ordered a water. And I thought that it was going to be like she gave me a water, but it turned out she charged me $4 for the water, and I was like, okay, where is it? And she was like, oh, if you turn around, there's smart water bottles in the fridge.
Oh.
Yeah, really rashed me on that. And I go up to the fridge, right? And there's a girl who's works there who's stocking the other side of the fridge, right?
Yeah.
And I see that, I acknowledge that, and I tried to go to the other side of the fridge that she wasn't stocking to get the water.
Okay.
But I was like trying to slide it, and then I was like, oh wait, like something what she's doing is blocking it. And I looked, and her foot was anchored, like blocking the thing, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know that. I was like, I didn't think about how like that sliding door worked.
You were just mashing into her.
Yeah, I was like, and she like, I'd been mashing on it for like 2 seconds probably.
Yeah.
And she was looking at me. Like, I looked up,
like
and,
as you
and I was
were doing
like,
it, you look up and she's
yeah, and I was
staring
like, oh, I was like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, it's fine. And then like we stood there for a second, and I was like, can I get this water?
Can you move though as you keep?
And she like, it was so theater kid, like took her foot off, stomped, and was like, by all means. And I was like, oh fuck.
Of course.
I was like, I really, like, I was like reaching in the fridge. I was like, I'm like, sorry, like I didn't know. And like, I didn't know how this fucking fridge worked.
As you're like pushing it, like moving the door on her. I'm so sorry.
And I go and I sit down and I'm eating and I'm by myself. And she clearly just like, that was her last task, and she got off work, and she emerges from the kitchen. She is changed by this point, and that's how I know she got off work.
That was her last
And
straw.
she was on the phone with somebody, and I look at her as she walks past me, like towards the exit, and I kid you not, she had the hardest eye roll of all time, and I was like,
it's the worst like human expression.
I was like, dude, I don't know how to tell you I didn't mean to do that again. Like,
as she's
can
like,
you cut me a break? I'm by myself.
Telling her friend about you for the entire ride home.
Probably. Talking about this big oaf.
As you're just drinking your smart water. And like, it's like,
I'm like, cheers.
I mean, it's $4 smart water. You got to mash a couple foots.
Yeah, exactly. I had to work for it, I guess. No, that was my stupid little lunch experience.
Yeah, you had another story about this Bleachers situation.
So this goes back to the true love thing.
Oh, okay.
So there was this girl that I loved her. Like,
actually,
yeah, kind of. I've never told you about her, but
yeah,
like, this is more of like one that I knew was never gonna happen.
Yeah, just
but
like
it was just a big crush, and and how I knew it was never gonna happen was after this. It really sealed the deal.
Oh gosh,
I'm macking on her, right? We're at the top of the bleachers, and let me paint the picture. It's homecoming basketball game, right?
Ooh.
And both sides of the bleachers are packed. Like, everyone in the school is here. We're playing our rivals, and I'm talking to her, and I have like one foot up on the bleacher and like another foot down, and like
right in your confident pose.
Right, I'm just so like I'm in captain's pose.
Yeah, and
my friend who I grew up with like came up to me and pretended like to dap me up. Ooh. And instead pushed me.
Oh.
And he didn't like understand like that I was at a weird stance.
Yeah.
And I fell down the top of these bleachers, and I rolled and I bounced like off of people, like, and I like ran girls over.
Yeah, because there's
people
packed
and stuff
seats.
And like food, like, and
nachos.
I rolled almost all the way to the bottom of the bleachers, and these bleachers were like 50 feet.
Yeah.
And like when I tell you the whole gym went silent and like the game stopped.
The music stopped playing.
Yeah, there's
like the spotlight shines down on you.
Yeah. No, and I'm like red as fuck. Like I get red.
Yeah.
And I stand up and I'm like physically fucked up, like my back.
Yeah.
And I got up and everyone was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Like, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm cool."
You look up at the girl you liked, and it's just,
And she's like
looking away from you, like trying.
She was like covering her mouth. And I walked out of the gym and I went home.
And you went.
Yeah.
You left the
I went
game.
home.
Yeah.
I went home.
Yeah.
But I'm not walking back up that shit after I just like Wreck-It Ralph
As you see,
all
like,
through those people.
The nachos you crushed, the little girl that you gave scoliosis or whatever,
Yeah.
and like
Just completely rearranged everything that was in the situation. Yeah, I'm going home.
I don't understand like what the guy's thought process was that.
Well, you know how like you get around a girl and like the guy becomes mean.
Yeah.
Your best friend becomes
He,
mean.
like tries to physically.
And he tries to fuck with you. That's what it was.
Oh, okay. So he was
because
trying
this
to
girl
impress
was
her.
so hot that it just turned everyone into that like primal mode.
They're just like,
I'm just gonna push this guy.
Starts pushing.
Yeah, and he did.
It's such an ape activity.
Ape activities. Yeah. Bathing ape
Caveman
activities.
activity.
Yeah, no, and it worked. I just went home.
We had to know that you were gonna fall. Like what was
He
the,
called
like,
me and apologized and everything. I was like, it's okay. I really didn't care that much, but like I was just like, oh, well,
That's
that
so
was
damaging.
the worst thing that could have ever happened in this gym. And I just went home.
Was this like, were you?
This is my sophomore year.
Is that like your simp era?
This was following my simp era. So my simp era actually started day one of public school. So I went to private school until ninth grade.
This is where we separated.
Oh man, this is so painful to talk about. So
I don't know this story.
I sit down at my first public school lunch and oh dude, this is so bad. And I'm at like, it's half boys, half girls. And I knew guys from the football team because I was on it. And it was like half cheerleaders, half football players pretty much. And I was getting up to go get like a spoon or something. And one of the girls was like, "Oh, could you grab me this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, whatever." So I grab her spoon, and I come back, and another girl asked for something.
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh, man."
You getting hazed or something?
I was like, "I guess I'll go get it." Like, I'm already up.
Yeah.
I got her that. I come back. Another girl asked for something, but it was like a purchasable item.
Of course, madame.
Literally. It was like it was like a milk. And I waited in the line.
No.
Because I was new and I was like, I guess I'll be nice to these people or something. But like this was like me being up for like a solid 10 minutes at this point, like going back and forth. And I like I waited in the line, bought the shit, and I brought it back. And at that point, I had literally gotten an item for every girl at that table.
And you're just like, here's your spoon, here's your milk.
And I sat back down to eat my lunch, which I hadn't started on. Bell rings.
No,
lunch
you didn't
was
get to eat.
Over. I will and I remember my friends, they were like, "Yeah, don't do that shit no more." And I was like, "Dude, you're so right." I was like, I don't know why I did that. I don't know how I survived that socially, like, because those were like the most popular people, like, in my grade at the time. Suicide. And yeah, I simped out.
You're just like, is there anything else I can get you, ladies?
Any lady? Like, I come back in a butler's uniform. I'm like, my ladies,
and with like a silver platter, like,
could I interest you guys in raspberry compote?
Heel is yell. Leche?
Yeah, dolce de leche. I like go to, I like don't even have a car, and I'm like going to Starbucks, and I'm like getting them shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, that was like really, 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 really bad.
Yeah,
I
bad.
it pains me to think about that. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
well, my first day of school,
mm-hmm.
and when I went to my new school,
Yeah,
I was like, I had been to my old school for my entire life. Like, I didn't really meet new people like that, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna get real weird with it. And like,
wait, if you say I'm about to get real weird with it before anything, rethink what you're about to do. Oh my God. I'm about to get
sorry, Gabe's sickness got to me.
Yeah, sorry.
Dude, I was like, okay, like I gotta like say something like to get people's attention, so like people pay attention to me. So
You gotta spice it up.
every time I met a new person, I'd be like, even if they didn't really ask, a lot of times they'd ask like why I came here or whatever, and I'd just be like, oh, I got kicked out of my old school. I sold meth.
No, you didn't.
I did that to a lot of people.
Told people that you sold meth?
Like the first week, every person I met, I told them that.
What the fuck?
And then I'm just like, just kidding. And they just stare at me like,
just kidding.
Right? And they're just like, oh, interesting. So like, at one point somebody asked me, they're like, did you get bullied at your old school?
No.
I'm just like, how'd you guess?
How did you know?
But there was this girl that I had known like a little bit previously, like my youth.
Yeah.
And I had a crush on her, like, and I told her that to her, and she did not like that at all.
Oh,
and I was like, no, I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. It was cocaine. Just thinking like, oh, maybe she.
It was blow.
Maybe she doesn't like that substance.
Yeah, no. The funny part was the substance. Like,
yeah, that's why she didn't like it.
That's it. She didn't like it. Some of her family must have used meth. And
she was this girl was also like super Christian girl, and I think I would say I was a Christian girl as well.
You were also a Christian girl.
I was very like I went to the same church. She went to Passion, the giant church, and I went there like solely just to be in the same vicinity as her.
Ooh,
and like I joined like the group, the youth group thing there, and like,
oh my God, you infiltrated fully.
All of that just to like see like, hey David, and I'm like, hey, all that.
Oh
just
my
for that.
God. And you're just like sitting in her church, like,
like
thinking about her.
I went I had my dad drop me off there and everything. It's like an hour away from my house.
Oh my God.
Just to be in the same vicinity as her, just for her to be like, hey David.
Hey David.
And I'm just
then walk past with her friends.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey. And then she walks away and I'm just like, score. And I am
up.
And I skip away.
Oh,
she want me for real.
No, she wanted you bad,
bro. Did you have any other bad Simp stories?
So I have a very similar church experience as you, and it pains me because you brought this up, and it was this girl like in my youth that you knew her. And her like dad was a pastor, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And I was in love with her. Like I had a huge crush on her, and she talked me into like going to her church one week, and we went to like breakfast before the service, and everything was cool. Like I was with her whole family. And we were chilling, right? Like we're killing it. And it gets time to go and sit down at at the actual service, right? And there's this other guy there who's like 2 years older than us, who also goes to the church, but he's their family friend and also went to our school. And
tough competition.
And it came to sit down, and like it was so awkward because like the girl went in, the girl's mom went in first into the pew, then the girl went in, and then it came down to me and that guy.
Oh, and you're like,
and
to
we
sit
looked
next to
at
her?
each other to like sit next to her,
You're just like,
and I was just like, okay, whatever.
you let him?
Yeah.
No.
Like, I let him sit
That
there.
was your chance.
It was my chance. Like, I really do think that things between me and her would have gone differently.
Your life path could have changed.
No, and I remember sitting there at the church, like, as soon as that, like, I remember sitting there next to the guy, and, like, whoever was next to me, and I was just like, at this time, I didn't cuss, but, like, I was like, I fucked this up. Like, I was like, and I was like, well, in my mind, I was like, well, I mean, I didn't really come to sit here. Like, I didn't really come here to sit next to her. I came to listen to the service or whatever. Like, like trying to make it okay in my mind. Like, on why I wasn't sitting next to her. Oh, but it was so gross, dude. I hated that guy. I still do.
Did he like her like that? Like, it was
he did. He definitely did. Like, it was so obvious. No. And like, but he was like 2 years older than us, and like, it was like, dude, like,
why are you here?
Like, yeah, why are you here? Like, where?
This is my moment, dude.
Well, it was my moment. Like, I didn't even know why that guy was here, and he looked like a Roblox character to this day.
Walking like it.
Yeah, he was just like.
That's how he sat down. He sat down.
Sucked so
when he
bad.
Sat down, he instantly got to the seat because he's an 8-bit character.
Yeah. No, yeah, that guy sucks. But whatever.
Well, we could go on for hours about our simp stories.
Simp and embarrassing, unfortunate tales.
Because I'm not going to say any more simp stories, but I was just like a generalized simp, like in that era where like this was fresh off of, I had quit porn entirely when I came to this new school.
Yeah.
So I was just
big life change.
Yeah, just ball full of horniness. Like you could really tell. Like
ball full of like my lady neckbeard action.
Yeah,
like, you were ready to appease any woman
like,
that you came across.
Testosterone and like the semen like bursted out from my balls and came to my veins, and I was just like full of testosterone and just ready
to serve a woman.
Ready to mate. So I just like really like doubled down. I'm like, all right, I gotta get a girlfriend. Like, hey, who's this girl? Who's that girl? Like,
yeah, it really worked out for you.
It was a bad season.
No, it's bad.
But anyway, this is episode
8
of the Epic Show. We're getting close to the episode 10 special.
Yeah, we are having an episode 10 special.
No, but there's gonna be guests coming in pretty soon. So you're gonna
be seeing a lot of us, and you're gonna be seeing a lot of putting people on the grill.
We know a lot of
bad things about a lot of bad people.
We're gonna put them on the hot seat. So
stay tuned for that. But thank you guys for watching this episode, and we'll come to
so
you
much.
Next week.
Make sure you
5 a.m. Monday morning.
New episodes every Monday. Make sure you smash the like button, 5-star, and have a good day.
Mwah.